You are about to witness the very exciting story of a city and its people.
Welcome to motherfucking Detroit.
What up, doe? What up, doe? This is Detroit Mel with another No Name podcast coming at you. Holla Little Blue from me to you. We are here with another video. And as always, if you have not done it, please go over to our Facebook page, LW Network. This page is for you, and you. It is designed for you to network. So if you have a funny meme, you have something you just want to upload and share, polls, all that stuff. Anything you're selling, this is what this is for. Also go to our YouTube page, like, share, and subscribe. Ding, hit that like button. Bing, hit the notification button. Pong, and all that stuff. So you can get every video that we upload. You can get the video from my colleague Lamar, Wildcard Myers, we call him. He does a Chiefs page, everything Chiefs. So if you want to know anything Chiefs, you are welcome to go over to that page and you can learn about Kansas City Chiefs, talk Kansas City Chiefs, do everything Kansas City Chiefs related. Also, Nick Shine, our other colleague, he has his Proud Jets fan. That you go over there and you can listen to that. So if you know someone that's a Jets fan, or you might be a Lions fan and a Jets fan, I don't know why, but if you are, you're welcome to go over there and follow the Proud Jets fan. But over here, we talk everything Detroit Lions. I'm trying to keep this preliminary part short so we have time for this video. I'm not trying to make the video long, but I was minding my own business, listening to the Spirit of Detroit podcast like I normally do, just chilling, doing what I do. And he put up a video about Stephen A. Smith. Now, some of you may not know, I don't care too much for Stephen A. Smith, but I am fair. If he says something that I may agree with, reluctantly, I will agree and say, okay, he was right about that. But he did something that I think is very egregious. He did something I think that should be talked about. And I'm gonna play a few clips for you so you can get some context of who Stephen A. Smith if you don't already know. But the one thing I want to say about Stephen A. Smith is he be on some BS, and how wrong he is a lot of times. And I'm gonna show a compilation of videos to show you when he was wrong and how often he was wrong. So let's roll the tape.
Tyson Fury is going to get knocked back to the UK, and it's going to be over. It's Deontay. He pushes down. But I'm going with the Golden State Warriors. 76ers going to the Eastern Conference Finals. 76ers are going to the Eastern Conference Finals. So it's 2-2, and then 2 more for Milwaukee. They win this series in 6.
Congratulations to the 2019 Eastern Conference champions, Toronto Raptors.
My heart says the Miami Heat because I love the bad guys. I love LeBron James, D. Wade, Chris Bosh.
The first title in franchise history.
Blame you. I'd probably bet my money on the Spurs, but I use the word probably because, Skip, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. When you go up against a great team, it takes a superstar to close the deal, baby. And it is time. It is apropos. It is perfect timing for LeBron James, King James, to show that he's got some Jordan-esque skills.
And Antonio is back on top once again. The Spurs are the 2014 NBA champions.
We keep talking about the guys. We know you have no business putting your hands on a woman. I don't know how many times I got to reiterate that. But what I've tried to employ the female members of my family, some of who you all met and talked to and what have you, is that, again, and this is what I've done this all my life, let's make sure we don't do anything to provoke wrong action. But at the same time, we also have to make sure that we learn as much as we can about elements of provocation. Not that there's real provocation, but the elements of provocation, you got to make sure that you address it, because what we've got to do is do what we can to try to prevent the situation from happening in any way.
Ben Roethlisberger, to me, has never come across as a bad guy.
A young woman who accused Ben Roethlisberger of sexual assault said she tried to get away from the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback and made it clear she did not want to have sex with him.
As you can see in our compilation, that he's been wrong several times. Stephen A. Smith has shown himself to be wrong. He has shown himself to be vexing. He has shown himself to be galling. I can't say the word out. Irksome, vexatious, bothersome, annoying, whatever word you want to put on it. He has shown himself to be those things. But he does something, I think, that is, what's the word I want to say? What's what I'm looking for? He just does something that is irreversible. No, that's not the word. He has done something that apologies to me is not accepted. But wait a minute. What about him claiming himself to always be an expert on something? I have receipts on that too.
First of all, stun him in the clinch. By grabbing him in the clinch and slamming him with those shoulders, that was unexpected. And I've never seen anybody do it that effectively. He slammed him in the nose, and you saw Cowboy's nose bleeding immediately as soon as they broke. So already he had Cowboy on the back foot. Then he starts marching forward. He lands that head kick. I want you to pay attention to Joe Rogan's face.
Had
Cowboy basically done within the first 15, 20 seconds.
Steven, stunning? Is that even, can you say from Conor McGregor it's a stunning win?
Listen, I'm shocked and disappointed.
No, because it was funny because I could see your face in the middle of it all.
So I knew he had a questionable jaw, and coming in there and swearing that he wanted to strike against Conor McGregor, I thought that he was right there to be had. So I expected it to end in round 2. I didn't expect it to end in 40 seconds, or as you just said, Joe Rogan, the first 15 seconds.
How awkward is that for you to stand between the two of them and go, what are you guys fucking talking about?
Yeah,
like, I mean,
I would have preferred to talk to DC or Felder or you or anybody who understands the sport.
Then hitting him 3 times, not 1, not 2, but 3 times. He was pretty much done then, just like Joe said. So 15, 20 seconds in, you're seeing Cowboy Cerrone, who was the bigger guy.
What are you talking
about? The bigger guy coming into this fight. Be done in like 15 to 20 seconds. I mean, I don't think he landed a single blow.
See, look, there's no positive in downplaying the career of Donald Cerrone or what he can do as a fighter. What that showed to me was how phenomenal Conor performed. Yeah. That's what it showed me.
Against Conor McGregor, it was like shadow fighting, for crying out loud.
He landed one kick to the arms, and that was basically it.
I like how
I don't know jack shit about basketball. People foul people. I'm not sure why. I don't know what's happening. Yeah. I know MMA. I understand it. So if you want to talk about MMA, I'd like to talk to MMA about someone else who knows MMA.
The consensus was the best way that he was going to be able to win was to keep distance and perhaps use his wrestling.
Right.
Try to take him down, try to grab his fight to the ground, and wear Conor out. Because Conor's so explosive and dynamic. You can wear them out, and then their muscles fill up, and then they slow down in the later rounds. That was the hope.
The other thing is this. Listen, you can't avoid being happy for Conor McGregor. He's great for the sport.
This guy should not be allowed to talk about fighting.
When he wins, it elevates the profile for the sport, unlike anybody else in the UFC. We get all of that. But the flip side to it, coming into this fight, Cowboy Cerrone had a reputation for not stepping up in the big moment. Now, he's been around for a long time.
If you don't know what you're talking about, and you're talking about it in front of millions of people, like
most wins, most closes, we get all of that because he finishes the job when he wins. But when he's lost, remember, he's never been a champion. They talked about that. So here's what I'm thinking. The lights might have been too bright, Joe. The lights might have been too bright. We have seen that from fighters from time to time.
Man, that's a bad look for everybody.
Yep.
It's a bad look for ESPN. It's a bad look for him. It's a bad look for the sport. Video of Stephen A. Smith. And immediately I was like, oh my goodness, this explains so much. Play this. Play this, Jamie. Watch this. Watch this. First of all, someone needs to explain to me what's happening here.
It looks like a dick punch to the left.
I don't even think it's a dick. Unless that guy's got a 2-foot dick. Look how low he's punching.
No idea, man.
This guy should not be allowed to talk about fighting.
This, I can understand with Stephen A., but this is not what you want to release. After you just called someone who's a pioneer in the sport, you basically call him a quitter.
Even get started in that fight, so how can you call me a quitter when I get my ass whipped before I even get started? That's what I want to know.
But my Lord, you couldn't back up Cowboy Cerrone. You couldn't catch a deep breath. You couldn't circle the octagon just a little bit, get your bearings on you. You couldn't do anything.
You call the guy a quitter. First of all, he had a broken orbital bone, okay? You saying he was a quitter? He got his face smashed, okay? He got cracked by one of the biggest punchers in the sport.
Yeah.
He has the most wins in the sport. He has the most wins by finish. He has the most bonuses. I mean, come on. He has the most fights. Come on. You're calling that guy a quitter?
Then you look like you've never played basketball or baseball or any other sport in your life either. Hit mitts like that. I'm sorry. So you cannot criticize people. And to be on the talk show, like you're saying, those talk show radios, go ahead and have that conversation with them. But you can't look like that and then talk shit.
If you watch the body language of Joe Rogan and you watch how his eyes are, it's like he wanted to say, yeah, whatever, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I brought those two videos to start my point. First, you see how wrong Stephen A. Smith is a lot. He's wrong a lot. You know, and then on top of how he's wrong on predictions that he called, he is not even an expert on some of the things he's talking about. Yeah, he may know about basketball, but when he ventures outside of basketball, his knowledge starts to diminish. So basketball, football, as he goes into other things, it's diminished even more. He got the MMA and didn't know nothing he's talking about. He doubled down on things he said about what he knew what he was talking about. He compared MMA to boxing. It's not the same sport. It's not the same thing happening. But I just wanted to lay that out to kind of lay out my argument. But my main point is what he actually said. And this is what the video is actually about.
For everything in Detroit, because I was hanging out there in the city the other day. I'm like, good Lord, it looked like a desert town. I'm rooting for them to be relevant. I'm just trying to understand. I'm like trying to understand why they got a damn football team, and that's it. I mean, my God, could you get people out working and all of the Ford Motor Company open your offices, do something, okay? Because it just looked like I mean, I was happy to see a traffic jam, and it only lasted 1 block. I mean, it was a problem. It was a problem how much of a desert town, Detroit and the Southfield looked like. But in the end, it comes down to Jared Goff, and I'm like, I'm just not sold.
Detroit makes the playoffs. We're going to go out there. Detroit makes the playoffs. You got to go out there. Not for the game.
No. Jeez. I mean, I'll be back. My boss, Dave Roberts, that's his hometown, had me out there, and I was happy. I was proud to be out there for those folks. I love the peoples, but, I mean, I don't really have much of a reason to be out there. I mean, I don't. If I'm going to go there, I'm going to go to hang out with Jalen Rose at a Michigan game in Ann Arbor, or I'm going to go to a Pistons game because my man Troy Weaver and Dwayne Casey are there.
You know who the Lions are?
And Jason Ivey, who I wanted to.
Now, a lot of things he said in this video irked me, bothered me. But first of all, what really bothered me is that at the beginning of the video, I didn't play that part, so I'm just gonna tell you what he kind of. I'm gonna paraphrase what he kind of said. He brought up, the Lions playoff record, and how many times they went to playoff, how many times they actually won a playoff. When the last time they won a playoff games. Valid point as a sports commentator. That's fine. Talk about the team all you want. That's just your job. As though is what we do here on YouTube as YouTube content creators. Those of us who do sports, we sit here and we analyze and criticize different sports, compare, whatever genre of sports we dealing with, baseball, basketball, hockey, whatever. We get on here and we criticize and give our analysis of the sport, of the team. But what we should not, and what we most of us don't do is make it personal. And that's what he got out of pocket. That's what to me, provokes me to want to do a video. I shout out to Spirit of Detroit because I got that clip from him, and he the one who brought this to my attention when I saw the video he put out. So shout out to him. Shout out to other ones I got clips from too. Right now, my mind it escapes me who it was, but I want at least let you know I got some of the stuff from other YouTubers. But here's the thing, and I'm trying to keep this video short, but it bothers me that he makes it personal. It's not the first time. He got on air and called LeVar Odom a crackhead. You know, what that had to do with basketball? Talk about this man's drug problem. Not only did he just talk about the drug problem, but he outright called him a crackhead. You know, now, if we know each other and we busting each other's chops and we chopping it up and we talking about each other, that's a whole different thing than you get on national TV on a platform as big as ESPN and call him a man a crackhead. Then as you see in the other video, how he gets on there, oh, I don't see nothing Ben Roethlisberger done. And then later on down the line, you see how Ben Roethlisberger being accused of doing something to that woman. Cause you know it's YouTube, I can't say the word, but being accused of that. You don't make it personal. Now, other thing I want to point out too is he mentioned, I had no reason to come to Detroit for what? We don't want you here. Don't even come to Detroit. And those who make YouTube videos who are Detroit fans, whatever, Pistons, Red Wings, Tigers, Lions. I don't care if you make videos about Cash Tech, if you make videos about Henry Ford, if you make videos about King, DSA, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I know they close so many schools. I'm trying to involve schools that's open, but I don't care if you make schools about Birmingham, Farmington Harrison, Southfield Lathrop, you know what I'm saying? And if you in Wall Lake, Pontiac Northern, Pontiac Central, I don't care if you make videos about any team that represent Sag Nasty, anything in Michigan. You should make videos about Stephen A. Smith. This should go viral. Matter of fact, you should share this video, not to make this video, not for my own personal gain, but share this video and make videos about Stephen A. Smith, making it personal about Detroit, the city. Can we talk about Detroit, the city, which is the biggest city in Michigan? You affect Michigan. You talking about Michigan as a state also. He mentioned Jalen Rose going to a U of M game. If Jalen doesn't say anything to Stephen A. Smith, then I have something against Jalen Rose too. Because the many times I seen Jalen defend the city of Detroit against other people, he needed to defend it about Stephen A. Smith attacking the city, making it personal. Troy Weaver, same thing. Stephen A. Smith, when he comes to Detroit, he shouldn't even feel comfortable. He shouldn't even feel comfortable coming into the city. And shame on Dan Orlovsky for laughing at that crap. Because he should have stood up and say, man, you wrong. Because you can talk about the Lions all you want. That's part of your job. It's not your job to make it personal. You're going over and beyond what your job qualification is. Talking about, I don't have a reason to come to Detroit. Like Detroit is this crappy city. They ain't talking about something. What's a desert town? Well, where were you at in Detroit? So I've been on Woodward plenty of times, especially talking about going downtown Woodward, and it's jumping. I've been on 7 Mile plenty of times, which is the West Side Capitol. Right? And, you know what I'm saying? It's jumping. 6 Mile, jumping. Where you at? I go down Gratiot, jumping. Go visit my family on the east side. Go on Mac, jumping. So where you at? You talking about the desert town? Where you at, Steve? Talking about there's a traffic jam only 1 mile. Where you at? I've been on the Lodge, Jumper, plenty of traffic. Southfield, plenty of traffic. Chrysler Freeway, plenty of traffic. Where you at? 94, plenty of traffic. So what you talking about? Desert Town. Come on, man. You on some BS, bruh. You on some BS, and I'm calling you out on it. There's nowhere that you could have went, especially because I know where they probably took you downtown. Down on Jefferson somewhere, or down on Woodward somewhere, Campus Marches somewhere. They probably took you somewhere over there, you know, and you ain't telling me what, nobody out there? Especially when in the summertime? I mean, people out there in the winter too, but I'm saying, especially when in the summertime, you tell me it wasn't jumping? There's no time you can go down there and wasn't jumping. Come on, man. You on some BS, bruh. You know, just like you talking about some, well, John, when you and John Wall got into it, and you talk, and John Wall told you to pull up, and you talking about you pull up and John Wall and show up, and John Wall called you on that. But here's my thing. If you are a man and you have an issue with me personally, I don't have to get on a platform. Why are you getting on a platform? You know what I'm saying? Especially you have the ability. I don't have the ability to meet you. So if I had the ability to meet you, I just come to you as a man and tell you how I feel. But you have the ability to meet this man. You have the ability to pull up on this man because you in that arena, you know, you in that you running those circles. Pull up on a man and talk to him face to face if it's personal. But let me show you that you on some BS because you get on your show and you made it personal. Now, if you just talked about John Wall's being hurt, John Wall's play on the court, hey, well, now if I disagree with you or agree with you, that's a whole other issue. But when you make it personal, that's when you're wrong. And you shouldn't be able to talk about the city and we sit back and relax on that. Dan Campbell made a point about changing the culture of the team. Well, I challenge you this as Lions fans. I hear everybody talking about how the Eagle fans are. Everybody talking about Bills Mafia, you know, and other fans along the league. We need to change our culture and not lay down and let people like this talk about our city. Say what you want about the team. I don't care nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? Because we need to prove that on the field. Once we prove on the field, all the naysayers will shut the hell up. But when you talk about the city, bruh, when you get up about the city, everyone who makes content need to be up on here talking about Stephen A. Smith. You know, I tell them, so you can miss me with that bullshit you spitting with your punk ass. Miss me with that bullshit you speaking with your punk ass. Miss me with that bullshit. For real. That's how it should be. You know, I heard somebody say that, you know, have them up on 6 Mile turning tricks. Hey, pull up on. Do what you do. But we ought to represent the city however you do it. If you want to do it on your platform, hey, do it on your platform. But if the goons want to get involved, so be it. But my thing is this. The culture change should not only be with the team, but it should be with the fans. We should not allow anyone. And right now, you know, I had to move to another state for family reasons. But everywhere I go, I bring Detroit with me. Ask anybody that know me, I bring Detroit with me. So I'm saying that to say, if the ones who move to Phoenix and Vegas, you need to book content. You need to talk about Stephen A. Smith. If you move to parts unknown, Stephen A. Smith still should not get away with it. We represent Detroit no matter where we go. We ride for our city. So, Stephen A. Smith, once again. So you can miss me with that bullshit you spitting with your punk ass.
whatever, motherfucker.
And that's all I got to say. I think that sums it up right there. That's all I got to say. Now, shout out to those who subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you. You know, but sometimes you got to do videos like this to let folks know, man. You know, you don't make it personal. That personal stuff, you talking about some elements of provocation. Well, you should have thought about this is elements of provocation right here. You know what I'm saying? Talking shit about our city is elements of provocation. Now niggas need to pull up. How about that?